He dreamed, not of kingdoms nor of riches, but of wings. In a quiet room in Florence centuries ago, a candle flickered beside a man's desk. Sketches filled the table, of birds, clouds, and strange machines that no one had ever seen before. His name was Leonardo da Vinci, the man who dreamed of flying. They called him painter, engineer, philosopher. But in truth, he was something simpler. He was a dreamer, a man who refused to stop wondering. When the city fell asleep, Leonardo would awaken. His nights were long, filled with the rustle of parchment and the soft hum of rain against his window. Each candle he lit burned away the darkness, and perhaps a small piece of his own time. He was not chasing glory. He was chasing understanding. Long before the genius, there was a boy, born out of wedlock, in a small Tuscan village called Vinci, a child of silence, raised among hills and rivers. Leonardo spent his days not with toys, but with wind and water. He watched birds float across the sky for hours, noticing how they turned their wings to dance with the air, how every movement had purpose, how nature never wasted energy. Other boys played, he observed. One day, while sitting under an olive tree, he saw a hawk glide above the valley. He whispered to himself, "If nature can fly, why can't we?" That question never left him. Years later, he would fill hundreds of pages trying to answer it, drawing wings that stretched like sails, machines that flapped like birds, and propellers that would one day become helicopters. But back then, he was just a quiet boy chasing the wind. When Leonardo turned 17, he left his home and walked to Florence, the beating heart of the Renaissance. The streets smelled of wet stone and candle wax. Church bells echoed in the rain. Artists painted walls that touched heaven. Sculptors carved marble like it was soft clay. And there, among them, a young Leonardo became an apprentice to the great Verrocchio, a master painter and sculptor. But Leonardo was not content to just mix paint or carve stone. He wanted to know why the world was beautiful, why light fell the way it did, why clouds moved across the sky, why a bird could fly while man could not. In Verrocchio's studio, he would often be found staring at the ceiling, lost in thoughts about things no one else dared to imagine. When his master painted Christ's robe, Leonardo asked, "But what is color really? What is light?" They laughed at his questions. He smiled, because he knew one day he would find the answers himself. As years passed, Leonardo's notebooks grew thicker, filled with designs that looked like dreams, flying machines with giant wings, helical air screws that spun like whirlwinds, bridges that could fold and move, even mechanical knights that could walk. Each page whispered a new possibility. But none of it was for fame. He wrote, "The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions." He wanted to see truth, not from books, but from nature itself. At night, he would climb to the rooftops of Florence and watch the moon. He would whisper, "We are closer to the stars than we think." Rain often poured outside his window, and he found beauty even in that, the way raindrops curved. How water flowed, how sound softened the world. For Leonardo, everything was connected: music, motion, art, and air. In the dim glow of his workshop, Leonardo built his first glider. It was made of wood and silk, fragile yet full of faith. He placed it by the window, watching how the wind lifted its edges. He knew it would never truly fly, but that didn't matter. The dream had already taken flight in his mind. He once wrote, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward." Perhaps he never flew with his body, but his imagination soared higher than any wings ever could. Many called him strange. Some called him mad, But centuries later, his notebooks became blueprints for the impossible, for planes, helicopters, and parachutes. He dreamed of flying before the world believed it could be done. And that is why we still remember him. In his final years, Leonardo lived in France, by quiet rivers and misty mornings. He no longer painted much. He simply watched the world, as if trying to memorize it one last time. He wrote, "Learning never exhausts the mind." On the night before his death, it is said he stayed awake, writing notes by candlelight. The rain tapped softly on his window, and the old dream returned. A man standing at the edge of a cliff, wind beneath his arms, eyes closed, ready to fly.